So how are you then?
Pretty good. Had a good day.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was just telling Wink, it looks like we might get to do some fishing this weekend.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, I see you sent me the menu link.
I did. I sent you a link to the menu so that you can put that link up on your, on your in your chat section, and anybody that wants the menu can just download it. So we'll give folks the opportunity to do that.
Fabulous.
And then we can talk about it.
Cool. Right. I'm gonna grab this.
Screen round. There you go.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, lovelies.
I was so sorry to hear about Maureen today. Any idea what happened? Do we know?
I have no idea. I was talking to her about 6 days ago. And she said, she hadn't been on Facebook a lot recently, and she said she's been looking after her sister.
Her sister's had a lot of problems, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So she's been in some kind of rehabilitation, and she was home, and so she had her hands full looking after her, and I just got a message from her son saying that she passed away at 7 p.m. yesterday.
Wow.
Which was just so shocking.
It is shocking.
So, I've been in contact with her a lot. We're friends as well, and obviously she was one of the lovelies that rang you, wasn't she? That sent you an email the same day Debs did. Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And so I know she must be one of your followers as well, bless her. Really, really shocking.
She'll be missed. She'll definitely be missed.
She will be missed. She will be missed. Sad thing, but she was a very religious lady. A lot of her posts are about God, so she'll be happy in his arms. And I hope that gives her family some comfort. That she would be glad to be there. But really shocking news. Yeah, really sad. The lovely Maureen Allen passed away yesterday at 7 o'clock. Very sad, because she's been on this whole journey. She's been a lovely right from the day one. She's been amazing.
Yeah, it's very sad. And we exchanged a number of emails, and I was just reviewing our messages just to, just sort of in remembrance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was looking as well. She sent me funny little gifs and stuff like that, and just such a lovely, lovely, lovely lady with such compassion in her heart, and always cheery as well. She was always cheery. Yeah. Whatever was going on, she would be upbeat, and always add something positive to. All her messages were just positive, and she was just a lovely lady.
I agree.
And just very sad and unexpected, because she didn't complain of particularly. She was just saying, I've just been so busy, with my sister, and she's, she's out now, so, I'm going to be very busy, but I'm really hoping to catch up with you all soon, because I really missed the chat. And it's just like, no, Chrissy, don't know that she was ill. I didn't, I was just completely surprised. She was 66 years of age. So no age at all. Just, I don't know what's happened, and obviously I'm not going to be messaging away to find out. But
no, there's no sense in speculating on that. All I can say is I know she did have a lot of medical problems, but I guess anything can happen to any of us at any time. So so make the best out of every day, and hug your loved ones and all of that. Yeah,
absolutely. Make the most of every second, because this is a one-time shot, and we need to spend our time being happy and positive and loving each other. And
isn't that true? Yeah, that is so true.
It is, and today really showed that, because she was a lovely lady, very lovely lady, and I shall miss our chats greatly, and I bet her family are devastated.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah. I bet they are. But, so I put a post up on my Facebook just to let, a lot of the lovelies, they'll know her comments, because she was very, when they were contacted, because she emailed you when Debs did, as well. So I know that she had contact with you, and she was there every message, all of that time, and Wink was doing my back. So a lot of you will know the lovely Maureen Allen. So those of you who follow me on Facebook, you can give a message to her family, and I'm going to send it to her son, so that... Just
amazing how God brings people into our lives for a certain time, for a certain purpose, and then they're gone. And
just really, very sad and surprising and
shocking, actually.
Yes, shocking. I was really shocked and kind of, just completely shocked. Just somebody that I've never even met in person, but who she touched the lives of everyone, all of the lovelies, because she would have been part of all those messages and all of the excitement when I was coming over to see you, and all of the, it's just like she was a big part of the team. And, I think everyone will remember her. So, our first lovely gone. I know, Chrissy, very, very sad. Yes, she has her angel wings, and I know that she's a very religious lady. So lots of her posts are about God and the love of God and light and his arms and his love and all of that. So I know that she'll be really happy. So, don't worry, Sherry, you're not right. Let me say hi to you lovelies who are here. Hello to Patsy, Elena, Madge, Chrissy, Karen, Core. That's the same Karen. Yeah. And Sherry. Yes, lots of hugs to her family. Hi, Deb, sweetheart. So, But it's nice that there are people, who never met her, who remember her, and who are, sad for her loss. And I know a lot.
Well, I think we met her. I think we met her this way.
Yeah, we did.
We were blessed to know her, to meet her this way, and so there's that, right? I mean, technology brought us all together.
Yeah.
In fact, so.
Yes, every single last one of us.
So,
amazing. Hi, Kathy, darling. Hi, Michelle. So, lots of love to Maureen, wherever she may be floating now. I'm sure she'll be having a lot of fun wherever she is. So, there we go. Maureen went home.
It's kind of hard to know how to get started, I mean, that's...
Maureen, not Maureen. Elena's just said, Maureen went home where she has many perfect fruit and veg to eat. You can always count on Elena for a cheery, humorous comment. Ada, sweetheart, the lovely Maureen Allen passed away at 7 p.m. last night, so we were just talking about that. And just saying, what a lovely lady she was. So that's what's happened. And Elena has quite rightly pointed us to the fact that she is in the land of the most perfect fruit and vegetable in absolute glorious sweet abundance. And so she'll be floating around with cherries and melons and all lovely broccoli and all sorts. It'd be nice to see her, to think of her doing that. And of course her pimple popping videos, she'll be watching those as well, wherever she is. She was a great pimple popping fan, wasn't she? She was one of your fans too, wasn't she?
I believe so.
Yeah, she followed your channel. That's why she sent an email to you. Yes, Chrissy, it does remind us to live our lives to the fullest, as it's our last. That's right. Kiss our loved ones, tell them we love them. I remember her well. I exchanged many messages with her. She helped me with my faith. Bless, Chrissy. Absolutely bless.
What was interesting to me about her was that we exchanged exchanged quite a few emails, but after, she initially asked me just a few questions, she then sort of was far more concerned about her own sister than she was herself. I mean, she was the majority of and I say, when somebody asks me a question, I always save the messages so that if they ever, have another question away, then I've got a reference and I can go back and look, okay, let's see what we did, what we talked about. And I've got dozens and dozens of them in a folder, and I went back through hers, and the vast majority of what we talked, her concern was about her sister. And it just showed her love, was, and her concern wasn't even about herself, was for her family and somebody she loved dearly, and the questions that she had for me were secondary questions about her. So that in and of itself is remarkable. It just shows who she was as a person, that she was far more concerned about others than herself, and definitely something we could all learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. Heart of gold. Just absolute heart of gold. So, really a lovely lady. I shall cherish the messages that I have. There are loads of people have posted. Her son posted up on her page to say that she passed away. And lots of people have messaged on there as well. So yeah, it's sad news, but she's in a good place, I'm sure. And she left a legacy of care, love, and compassion behind her. And what could be better than that, apart from obviously still being alive with us. That's the best thing you can hope for, that you leave a trail of smiles behind you, and lots of people benefited from how much she cared about other people, and let's just live these lives that we have to the absolute fullest, in our best, most healthy, most happy, lively state that we possibly can. I think,
right.
Let's just do that. That would be a good thing to do.
Yeah. And here we're having a fine discussion. I've already had to put a troll in timeout, and
how ridiculous!
Just goes to show there's always someone, right?
There's always someone that wants to be an idiot, but each to their own. But not on this show. Not on this show, right? I'm going to go onto YouTube, onto my channel, because you've sent me that link when we get to it.
Yeah, and so and you can actually you can put it up on here too, but you can put it on there so they can download it. But either way is fine. And I was just thinking that if we get some people that could go ahead and see you, Wink.
See you later.
Wink's going to bed, everybody.
We could get anybody that's interested in the menu that I have created for this next week. For those of you who want a menu, it's certainly not mandatory, but a menu of what to eat, and you can download it. I've posted it. I'll post it again now. And if you want to download it real quick, you can. And
I'm going to put it up as well. How did you send it to me? Via email?
Email. I emailed you the link.
Right, okay, let's see if I can be really clever and actually look it up while I'm on here. I'm such a bozo with this. I can't, because I still haven't worked out how to put my email on my lovely new MacBook Pro, which all I do is this show on.
You know what? I bet you I can do it on your channel. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm just going, what email address? It's on the sue.loveyourlife email address, isn't it?
Right.
There, I've got it here. Right.
Oh, you got it. Okay, if you got it, that's fine.
Hang on, if I could just copy it. Copy. Right. Okay, can I chat publicly as Sue Verhoeven? Ooh, lovely. Here we go, babies. Come on, let me chat publicly then. I'm trying to chat publicly. Yes, it worked. I managed to do it from my phone. Wonderful. Great. Okay. Hi, Barbara. Lovely to see you. Who else have we got here? Well said, Dr. G, says Barbara.
Well, thank you.
And Julia's joined us. Who would like to see the loaf of bread, Dr. Gilmore's wonderful loaf that's just come out of the oven? Would you like to see it? Along with a lot of mess in our... Lot of mess. There it is.
Oh, that looks good.
Doesn't it? Wink made that.
Tell us what you put in it.
Garbanzo flour.
Ah, okay.
This time. And the last one I made, listen to this. The last one I made, Finian is, this is typical with Finian. He'll like something. Yeah, I really like your new bread. And I'm like, hurrah, hurrah. Found something healthy for him to have with his sandwiches. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And then last week he was like, look, Mum, to be honest, I'm just getting, I mean, it's very nice and all of that, but it doesn't go with Nutella or any of the other spreads. It only goes with the fish pate. And, you know, it's just too hard, the crust. And I'm just like, oh, God. So I thought, I know, let me faff around with the recipe and see if I can make the crust a bit softer and see if I can make it less of a whole, like a whole food mouthful for him, but still retain, you know, the healthy elements. So I added 1 cup of, well, actually I couldn't even bear to add 1 cup. I substituted one of the wholemeal flours for mainly white flour. With a little bit, to make the cup up, like about 1 centimetre, which is about half an inch, something like that.
Yeah.
With wholemeal flour on the top and mixed it up. And I didn't put any of the nuts in it. I didn't put the chia seeds in it. Instead, I put a full half cup of flaxseed in it.
Okay.
And I put a bit more yeast in it, hoping it would rise a bit more, be less dense, maybe la 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 la. Anyway, so I make this bread. Doesn't make any difference to how it rises, what the crust is, or anything. Only he said, not as good as your last loaf. So I dumbed it down from its wonderful health, and he didn't even like it as much.
Didn't even like it as much. Well, there you go.
So anyway.
So I made a loaf last night, and I did something a little different with it that I hadn't done before. I did something sort of similar. I used the main 3 cups of the whole wheat flour, but then instead of a flour, I added a cup of steel cut oats.
Ooh.
And then I added the chia seeds, and just a little bit more than I usually put in of the maple syrup, and it tasted. And I also put about a 1/4 cup of crushed up walnuts in it too.
Whoa.
And it tasted a lot like oatmeal. Surprisingly enough, right? It's not like I cooked the steel cut oats. I just put the raw oats, just threw it in there like another flour and mixed it in. But it certainly had a different taste to it. It was fun to try something different. That's for sure.
Yeah,
so
that's right. I'm going to do a few different ones.
I wanted to make some with the almond flour, but I was out of almond flour, and so I'm going to have to pick up some more of that. And so probably tomorrow, and I ran out of yeast. Used the rest of my yeast up, so I've got to pick up some yeast and some more almond flour. But I liked putting I thought the walnuts gave it a little more texture too. I like the texture. I like the texture of the chia seeds and the walnuts and stuff like that. Gives it. Yeah, it makes it more interesting.
Yeah, it does. It's nicer on the bite, isn't it, to have the different textures as you're eating. I think it's absolutely delicious.
I love it hot. I love that when it's got a little bit of steam still coming off of it. Really good.
It is so good. Mine's still in its tin. I must remember to take it out in about 5 minutes. You're going to remind me of that, okay? Otherwise it will go all soggy. But of course I haven't got the oven gloves, so it might be a little bit of a burning finger affair. But if anyone wants the recipe for the bread, If you haven't seen it, I'm going to copy the link from my YouTube channel and put it on there, and you'll be able to go and watch that, because I know some of you haven't seen the video, but it's really, 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 really nice bread. Unless you're my
Good
son.
bread. It's good
Anything
bread.
healthy, he gets, if you give it to, it's just like, we don't get bored of that rubbish bread, do you? Actually, no, he didn't like the rubbish bread. He likes the other bread I do.
Chrissy asked if I had a good sweet bread recipe. I have one bread recipe. That's it. That's all I know how to. I'm not a chef, but I'm learning. I don't have a sweet bread recipe.
I will
Chrissy,
find one for you. I will definitely find one for you. Because Finian, Granny went on holiday, and she had a whole load of those brioche bread with chocolate chips in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is, of course, utter poo.
Oh, yeah,
That's
right.
what I'm going to say politely. Yeah. I would use another word normally, but utter poo. So he's been eating them all week. These things don't go off for months and months and months and months and months and months. So you've got to ask what on earth is in it. That's the bread recipe that's just come up, so you can have a little watch. And I reckon you can I reckon you could swap any flours about.
Sure.
You can add any nuts and stuff. One of my lovelies made it and put pumpkin seeds on the top. I avoid doing this because I have this teenage boy who goes, "Look, Mum, you know I don't like the texture of the seeds. I've told you can grind them up, but please don't put them in whole because I just have to eat round them and it's so messy." I'm dying to make one that's just like got stuff in it,
Just stuff all over it.
Yeah.
So I did something with the air fryer last night. I had been wanting to do, and it turned out really good. I had a block of soft tofu.
All right. Yes.
And I took a piece, maybe I'll say 2 inches by the width of the little canister it came in. It wasn't a lot, maybe a cupful, maybe 250 cc's worth, and chopped it up into cut it up into little pieces about a centimeter by a centimeter, something like that.
Yeah.
Or half inch by half inch. And laid them all out inside the air fryer. It just about covered the whole bottom of the air fryer. And I didn't know how long to cook it, so I said I'm just going to guess. So I set it at 400 degrees and cooked it for 12 minutes. And they rolled out. I just tilted over and they rolled out. They were just crunchy and they were perfect.
Yeah.
They were perfect. And I substituted those last night for the soybeans for the edamame because I wanted to try a different way of cooking the soy because that's on today's menu. So I wanted to do a little work to see if I could air fry it and see how it would taste, and it was amazing. It was really good, really crispy and tasty, almost meaty. I could say meaty perhaps. But so that's on our menu today or for this week, and there's lots of ways to make the tofu. So the good thing about it is if you buy some tofu, you don't have to use it all up right away. You can save it. It lasts for months in the fridge if you keep it in a Ziploc baggie or something. So it's not like it's something fresh that you have to eat right away. And it doesn't have to be thoroughly cooked to be safe or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about cooking it except to your taste, how you like it. So anyway, well, let's talk. You want to talk about the menu then? You want to go through some parts of it?
I'd like to go over kind of, because I hadn't tried the whole menu and just some of the things I found with the menu. So the smoothie in the morning with the bananas, walnuts and prunes. I added some nut milk to that rather than water. Yeah, I did. And I made a massive, like the big the big thing on my whizzer, I made. So it was like, just like massive. I put 2 bananas in there because they were like medium bananas and they were very ripe. And I think the very, very ripe ones I don't like so much. But anyway, I thought it was really tasty. I took it into work with me and I sipped away at it half the morning and like, drank a bit of it, drank it and everything. And I found that the element of the prunes certainly had an effect on my digestive system, which was, how shall I put it politely, a little inconvenient and disconcerting in the shop.
Okay.
I did it the second day as well, and I just thought, I don't know why, because I have no idea. I don't know if it was a combination. I had a yellow pepper the first day with avocado, and I had some lovely, lovely on the vine little cherry tomatoes that
wonderful,
beautiful flavour, absolutely beautiful. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoy eating like a mouthful of avocado and then biting into a tomato at the same time. It makes it like guacamole in your mouth. So I really enjoyed that, and I felt full, and in fact I felt quite waterlogged because of course the tomatoes and the pepper are just full of water. So I felt really hydrated, but I was a little bit hungry when it came to about 4:30, having had the banana around 9:30, about 11, and then I ate my lunch probably at about 2:30 probably about 1:30. So I persevered the next day with that. And also I did the same meal. I did the actual, but I had a different can of beans because, as you know, I've not been able to find edamame beans at the moment. I have to go around and find out where I can get them from. So I did that. So I did that for 2 days in a row, and I still had slightly, I don't think I want to drink this morning and go work in the shop again, because I think I've had enough of that kind of feeling. It was just that, don't pass wind the shop just in case,
Right,
So
right.
I don't know whether that was because it's quite a lot of prunes. So I don't know whether it was the whole combination, but that was just what I found. And then I did variations of your supper after the days after that. So I think I did the same dinner 2 or 3 times in a row. And then I did one where I had more quinoa in it.
There you go.
And then I I missed my spinach, so I chucked some spinach in it as well. And put different kind of herbs and spices in it. So, I've really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. I think what I might do...
I don't really know what to eat, and now we can say, well, here you go. Here's a menu that you can use for next week, and here's one for the week after that. And the good thing about using the same sort of menu for a week is it allows you to go buy 4 or 5 days worth of stuff that you can pretty much count on that you'll finish up before it goes bad, right?
Yeah,
so absolutely. I think it makes sense on a lot of levels.
Yeah, I think so. And also, you can mix and match things. So... what was really good about this is you got everything you needed, all your vitamins and minerals, because you'd worked all of that out, and you'd worked out the whole ratio of the 80-10-10 and, the right balance of carbs and protein and fat and everything. And, lunch, I could just eat that every day for the rest of my life.
Wasn't that fabulous? I mean, just great.
Really
just
nice.
Great. And I would take just a little splash, and literally just a splash of balsamic vinegar and just splash it on there and eat those. They're crunchy and so filling. Just fantastic.
They're definitely
really
filling. Definitely filling. I had it in my new little veggie pot thing that I put up, the picture I put up on Facebook for that. So it's like a tiffin thing. It's got 7 different compartments. So, and one day I came home to do my accounts and they said, oh, don't worry, it's not very busy. You don't need to come back. And I was like, oh, but I left my lunch there. Anyway, so I go back the next day. I chopped them up the previous morning. So it's like 40 hours. And it was completely, they were still cold, still crunchy, no brown edges. just absolutely, I was just like, whoa, I am so pleased with my new device. Keeps everything fresh. And the great thing about that is I can chop and prepare fruit. I can add nuts and seeds into all the different pots. I can break them open fresh and I can mix them on my desk. Yeah. And they're all gorgeous little pots. I'll show you a picture because I know you don't have time to be looking at all my nonsense on Facebook. It's this.
Oh yeah, there you go.
It's
Isn't that nice?
That's my desk at work.
Yeah.
And look! I take a little spoon and I take a little napkin and a knife and I cut open. Look at that avocado. The avocados are.
Oh, they look perfect. Those look really good too. The
nicest avocados I've had all year. They're absolutely delicious. So it's just so handy. So it's a really, really good thing for lunch on the go, especially if you're doing raw. And I really like the fact that everything was raw until the evening.
Right.
And that could have been an element, actually, of just, my gut getting cleaned up by the food that I was using. Because I have been eating some processed vegan food and I have been eating a lot of cooked food. And I think the raw is, it's really good. It's really great for you.
So my idea with these menus is there's a few things that I'm thinking about. One, I want to try to stick to the 80-10-10 as closely as possible. Number one. Number two, I want to be sure there's enough protein in there. I don't have to worry about the fiber.
Yeah.
But I do want to be sure that there's enough protein, and so far that's been pretty easy. The other thing is I don't want folks to have to cook more than once a day, right?
Yeah.
It seems like that should be enough. The breakfast, I kind of like the idea of it being something that goes in a blender, but if you don't want to, you can just kind of mash it up and put it in a cup or something.
Yeah.
Right? But I definitely want the lunch to be raw, just like right out of a Tupperware container or a Ziploc kind of container of some kind, right?
Yeah.
So you can carry it with you to work or school or whatever and just keep it refrigerated or even put it in one of those, cooled lunchbox things and it'll be fine. You can eat it just like that.
Yeah.
So minimal, so you prepare it the night before. And then in the evening, you get a chance to kind of get the family involved and, if you want, and then make the supper.
Yeah.
But make it simple. Anyway, so let's go ahead and talk about vegan diet number 2.
Whoop, whoop. I'm just looking at it now because all I've done is copied the link. I'm licking my lips because I know I've got these ingredients in my fridge.
So we'll start with the breakfast blend. I'm going to put it up here in just a moment. There we go. I just took a screenshot of it.
I know, so
I've got so many things on my screen here. First I have to show you a picture of what I planted yesterday. I'm going to put a picture up. It kind of wipes out the whole. Well, I'll make it a little bit smaller. But
Hi,
I just put up.
Jan.
Yeah, you know what I can do is I can show you this way. But here it is. Can you see?
Yeah, hold it closer so that it takes the glare off. Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
Yay!
Those are my celebrity tomatoes.
Celebrity tomatoes, fantastic. Will they be on the red carpet? Right, I've just realised I need to take my bread out. You can all watch me take my bread out in the lounge because my husband's gone to bed. Winky Dinks has gone to bed.
Oh, you cooked it in a paper of some kind.
Yeah, I cook it in grease-proof paper so that I don't have to butter the dish.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, I love the fact that it smells a bit like cake and a bit like bread.
Mm-hmm. Big loaf. Look at that.
Look at that.
Did you cook it for 40 minutes?
Yep. 40
Looks
minutes and it's nice and kind of...
Yeah.
See, nice and springy.
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
It is, and I do...
Especially for fasting people, that looks really good right now.
and I put a little... I kind of dig a blade in to just slightly separate the dough so it makes a kind of a slash on the top. It's easier to make my sandwiches for my son, who complains. And the good thing about this is, when the condensation on the tin evaporates, I don't have to wash the tin.
I need to get some of that paper.
Yeah, we call it grease-proof paper. It's a bit like tracing paper, but a bit thicker.
I need to get some of that.
And it's called baking parchment, I think you might call it. All you ladies who do baking, what do you call it in the States? It's either baking parchment or greaseproof paper.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look when I hit when I go to pick up some more instant yeast. I'll look and see what they have. Okay, well, I'm going to put the first one up here. Here we go now. So I'm going to make it a little bit larger. Okay. So those of you that have downloaded it, this is what you're looking at. This is the breakfast, and there are 4 items this time instead of 3. So a little bit added a little something into it. I felt like I wanted a little bit more to eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt like I wanted a little bit more. Yeah. So I added another item to it. So it's got 4 items. Yeah, okay. So I'm getting lots of people saying parchment paper, so I need to look for that. Okay.
Yeah, it is parchment paper, yeah.
It starts off with the chia seeds I moved into the breakfast. So a 1/4 cup of chia seeds. And this is really designed to go into a blender. So 1/4 cup of chia seeds, 139 calories, 4 grams of protein, 9 grams of fat, and 11 grams of fiber, with lots of calcium, manganese, and phosphorus. We left the banana. 1 cup banana or a medium banana works the same way. By the way, the chia seeds, when I had it up before, I measured it out. I believe it was an ounce, but when I weighed it out, it was just about perfectly a 1/4 cup. So that's why I put
a handful in, a big kind of handful of them in.
Yeah. So the banana is the same as last time. 100 calories, 2 grams of protein, 1 gram of fat, and 6 grams of dietary fiber. And then 1 cup of chopped apple, which would probably be I'm not sure if that's a small or a medium apple. Certainly not a large apple. It might just be a medium apple.
Yeah, once you take the core out, I always eat the core anyway, so that would...
Right.
That would just...
There's not much in the apple anywhere, peel or not. I mean, and if you look at where I put... There's really nothing there. Apple is just strictly a little bit of dietary fiber, some carbohydrates. That's it. I mean, there's no protein and no fat in an apple. There's no measurable protein. There is some protein, but it's so small it's not even worth counting.
Right.
So when you eat an apple, you're getting carbohydrates somewhere in the middle of that glycemic chart. But it doesn't really have anything else. It's got a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but not enough in the the vitamin area or minerals to even mention.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Do you have that saying?
Yeah, sure, but I think it's probably just because it's fiber. I don't know, but there's not much in there. And then the bonus is 2 slices of whole wheat bread. If you are kind of cutting your calories back a little bit, you could leave this out. So I figured a couple of slices of whole wheat bread. Don't put that in the blender, of course. Do the chia seeds, the apple, and the banana with a cup of water in the blender, and then if you wanted to toast up a little whole wheat bread, you could do that. You could either eat it dry, or if you had a little spread you wanted to put on there, you could. But that's 140 calories, 8 grams of protein, 2 grams of fat, and then 4 grams of dietary fiber with thiamine, riboflavin, selenium, zinc, calcium, and iron in that whole wheat bread.
Yeah. Especially our lovely bread with chia seeds in it and flax seeds and maple syrup and, a different, like you might have a nut flour in there or garbanzo bean flour or something, rice flour or some, any kind of, wonderful nut flours and stuff like that. That will add so much. I reckon, if you put, you could put some of the bread in the smoothie, and it would add a really nice kind of filling texture to it. Just like when you add nuts or you throw, flaxseed into a smoothie, it gives that kind of, like you've got some dumph, not just fruit and water, you know.
I added the whole wheat bread on because I was looking for a little more protein for the day. So and I also wanted to add a little more calories. At 1,400 calories, I get hungry.
Yeah.
So it served two purposes for me. But if you don't want it, you don't have to have it. So anyway, that's the breakfast. So my recommendation is you drop a couple of pieces of whole wheat bread in the toaster, and you throw the rest of this in the blender with some water. And if you really want it, put some soy milk in there. You can, or any of the nut milks we talk about, from oat milk to you name it, hemp milk, and all the others that we've talked about. You can do, but. That's a pretty nutritious vegan whole food breakfast right there. So
sounds great. I've looked up some of the benefits of apples for you.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah. So apples are extremely rich in important antioxidants, flavonoids, and dietary fiber. The phytonutrients and antioxidants in apple. I don't know why I'm shouting my throat out over here. May help reduce the risk of developing cancer, hypertension, which we all know what that means now, including me, diabetes and heart disease. So you see, we might not have some numbers on the apples, but there are some really important, things that are going into your diet there to help you with all of those things. So that's
I think we should remember that too with all of our fruits and vegetables. There are a lot of unmeasured and there are phytonutrients. They're plant-based nutrients that we just don't focus on because they're not the macronutrients, right? They're micronutrients. And a lot of those we don't even measure. Most of the good stuff has probably never even been cataloged. It'd probably be generations to come before we find what's really the best part of the apple. Who knows, right?
Who knows?
All right, I'm going to put up the lunch chop here.
The lunch chop.
Lunch chop going up.
Lunch chop. Sorry, I'm being silly. I seem to have gone into silly mode. Lunch chop. Nom 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 nom.
Oh, we got another person to block here. Just excuse me for a moment. And it looks like it's my turn to get the.
Do you know, I'm not even on my channel. Well, I am on my channel, but Elena's there, and Chrissy and Karen. If there are any naughty people, it's funny. While you're doing that, Chrissy is saying she is so hooked on mushrooms now. She eats about 16 ounces of them a day. Do you know what? I stick them in everything now. I'm just like absolutely on a mission that even though I don't know what my numbers are, I'm going to have vitamin D literally coming out of my pores.
When you do find out what your numbers are, they're going to be good. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to let you do my numbers when I come and see you.
All right, let's see. So this is the lunch chop, and my idea with the lunch chop is that you'll chop this all up and put it in some kind of Tupperware or Ziploc, thing, and take it with you the next day and put it in the fridge and have it ready to go, right? And it starts off, of course, with one red ripe tomato, 1 cup chopped, 33 calories, 1.5 grams of protein, 1/2 gram of fat, and 2 grams of dietary fiber, loaded with vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin K.
Nom nom. Whoop woo.
And next, we're going to switch, and we're going to put some raw kale.
Ooh.
And I put 1 cup shredded raw kale.
Yummy.
34
Excellent.
calories, 2 grams protein, no fat, and 1 gram of dietary fiber. And that surprised me that it only has 1 gram of dietary fiber. Yep,
Really
that's
that
it.
much?
And you would think it would have more, but it has a lot of vitamin A, vitamin K, potassium, iron, and calcium in kale. So you'd mix those together. And then something that comes out of a can, because we've all had bad experiences with chickpeas. So you're going to open a can of chickpeas, drain the water out, and measure out a cup and toss those in.
Yeah.
No chickpea injuries will be had unless you hurt yourself on the can, so don't do that.
Don't eat these raw, folks.
A lot. Now, this is a really high nutrition product. 86 calories in a cup of canned chickpeas, 12 grams of protein, 3 grams of fat, and 11 grams of dietary fiber.
Whoa,
lots of B6, folate, calcium, iron, zinc, and copper. So micronutrients in the chickpeas. If you want to do chickpeas on your own, if you want to soak them and cook and do all that, you can. But it's probably easier to get them canned or maybe even frozen and just use those. But I'm going to go ahead and get the canned because I know I can get them and they're inexpensive and safe. So. And then finally, we had a request. Somebody said we want some onions. So, as part of our lunch chop, a half cup raw onion. You can decide if you want red or purple or white. It doesn't matter. All the numbers on them come out about the same. 32 calories, 2 grams of protein, no fat, and 3 grams of dietary fiber with your thiamine, folate, phosphorus, and calcium.
Wow,
so
calcium in the onions there. That'll be
so
good.
You have 1, 2, 3.5 cups of raw ingredients. That will make for a very hearty lunch.
Yeah, it will.
It really will.
Chickpeas are just lovely, absolutely lovely. And I've got some. You call it cilantro.
Sure.
We call it. I've forgotten now. I'm becoming so Americanized. I can't remember our own words. Coriander, that's what we call it. I've got some fresh coriander and I'm going to shred some of that and kind of stir that through to give it a little peppery bite. See, Jack, I've got this fridge bursting full of fresh fruit and vegetables and it's not on the menu. So I'm getting mad at this end. Turning into an OCD nightmare. That sounds absolutely gorgeous. That sounds really good. Nice and savory as well.
Okay.
Lovely.
And so most of the calories are coming from the chickpeas. So if you substitute chickpeas, make sure you add something that's got 250 calories or so, or you're going to find you're going to run into being very hungry probably later in the day. So you probably could make some substitutions there, but trying to keep it where it would all be okay to be chilled and chopped and eaten.
No, Wonder Woman.
So, all right, so we'll take that one down.
Chrissy's got no written down at this, and I'm thinking, what's she saying no about? I think it's the raw onion. Oh no, raw onion breath for me. I'll have to sub on that, lol. I'll be breathing it over everyone that's accidentally smashed the screen on their phone and needs my expert direction. I don't care about that. At least it will be smelling of a vegetable. But yeah, what could we substitute the onion for those who find onions repeat on them?
Well, you go back to the green pepper, to the bell pepper that we had last week. You could use that again. Yeah, use a bell pepper on that, because the chickpeas will take care of the fat content, won't they? Yep. Calories. So excellent. Yep. All right, and so that brings us to the supper stir. Woo! Break out your pans.
Yes.
Turn off the gas or the electric. Yeah. Here it comes right now.
I'm sure my wok gets upset if I don't cook something in it every day. I cook everything in my wok. Absolutely everything. I love it.
All right. Oh, I put the lunch chop up again. Bad me. Sorry. Maybe I'll get here we go. I got it now. There we go. So this has 5 items.
Yeah.
And it's so big it's just going to cover our faces. And that's just all there is to it. So,
Walla,
all right.
Walla.
So,
Walla, Walla.
1 cup of long brown rice.
Yes.
You know what I found was interesting is that the nutrition information. I don't know. I want to be able to see you. the nutrition information for short rice and brown rice are actually different, or in long rice. They're not the same.
No.
It was really interesting. So you're going to use 1 cup of long brown rice, 216 calories, 5 grams of protein, 2 grams of fat, 4 grams of dietary fiber, and it's loaded with thiamine, niacin, selenium, manganese, and magnesium.
Wow, lovely.
Probably the best way to do such a small amount of rice is to either cook up enough rice for 4 or 5 days if you're fasting, or for the week, and then put it in little pouches, a cup each, and then refrigerate it. I'm sure it'll hold just fine through the week. Or to get the little pouches, the microwavable pouches that have either the wild rice or the long brown rice. I think wild rice would be a good substitute here if you wanted. They also make some packs that have about the same numbers as far as calories, protein, nutrition information, that have a little bit of quinoa with the rice in the pouch. So you could heat that up and throw that in too. So, but there's an idea for you though. So
can I just say something about the rice?
Sure. Yes.
Rice is one food that you can get incredibly bad food poisoning from if you don't keep it right. I lived in Indonesia for 6-7 months and in Asia for like a year, and they are incredibly particular about rice. So as long as you refrigerate it, it will be all right for a day or two. But anything past that, I would chuck it out. So the best thing to do, if you're going to cook rice for a week, you can work out what that is, and you'll be able to, if you look up on the internet, how much cooked rice, raw rice equals a cup of cooked rice. There's always someone that's worked that out for you. So freeze it in pouches of 1 cup. So if you're all right for one day, then freeze the rest rather than keeping it all week, because if your temperature's not in your fridge isn't super right, which mine hasn't been for a long time until I got my lovely new one, of course. If your kids are swinging off the door and leaving it open, or you get it out, especially if you're, I don't know, just be careful with rice, guys, because it doesn't, you can't see or taste the bacteria, and it's one of the worst types. It's worse than seafood poisoning, rice poisoning. So just be careful. Yeah, and I think a lot of it comes from people make lovely rice salads, don't they? With rice and peppers and everything. And they put it out like at a buffet or whatever, and they have some of it and they pop it back in the fridge, but it's been out for a bit and in for a bit and out and in. And you must never, ever put rice in the fridge that's not completely cold. Mm-hmm. If it's even slightly warm, putting it in a fridge, there's some kind of, Finn would explain this all perfectly about slightly warm things going into a cold environment. It keeps it at that warm temperature for longer, which means the bacteria can grow. So
bacteria has more time to grow. That's right.
Yeah, just be careful with rice. I just wanted to say that. So
good advice on the rice. Yeah. So this might be an opportunity to explore the pouches. You can get pouches where you throw it in boiling water and you boil it for 3 minutes and it's cooked.
Yeah.
And those are very inexpensive. They also have the kind that come in the pouches where it's already cooked. You just heat it up for like 90 seconds. So, but probably a lot easier ways than starting from, just the uncooked, long brown rice. But anyway, so that's one of our items.
Cool. Lovely. Love rice. And half the world eat it every day as part of their staple diet. It's a great thing.
Okay, next up is flax seeds. 1/4 cup raw. So you're going to throw that in the pan with your cooked rice. It has 1/4 cup raw flax seeds, 224 calories, 8 grams of protein, 18 grams of fat, good fat, healthy fat, lots of omega-3, lots of those healthy long-chain fatty acids that we need. That we don't get in most of our other vegetables and fruits. Okay, so there it is in the flaxseed. 12 grams of dietary fiber. It's got folate, B6, thiamine, riboflavin. Flax seeds probably are going to show up them and chia seeds, and these we're going to see lots of these in these menus to come, because when you sit down and you start trying to say, you're going to balance this out and get the right amount of fat and you're going to get the right amount of dietary fiber and all this, flaxseed is just one of those products that just fits so well because it's got a good amount of protein, it's got the healthy fat and the fiber. It's just good to add it. So we're going with a 1/4 cup of raw flaxseed. And by the time you cook this up, it won't be crunchy, but you'll be able to taste some texture of the flaxseed. Okay, so for all you rabbits out there, the next one is a 1/2 cup cooked carrots. So I would just start raw, slice them up, and throw them in. 27 calories, 1 gram protein, no fat, 2 grams of dietary fiber. And that says calcium, manganese, and phosphorus, and I know I left something out. What do you think I might have left out of that? I know I left vitamin A out of that. There's got to be vitamin A in carrots.
What makes you see in the dark, Dr. Gilmore? Is it that you left out?
Beta carotene. It's vitamin A. How did that get? I'm sure of that. Now I'm going to have to look it up because that's going to bother me.
I'm busily looking up as well.
That's going to bother me. I think I meant to put vitamin A in there, and I don't think I did.
Yeah, Nancy's saying flaxseed is brilliant. And yes, it makes a vegan egg in baking and cooking. I wouldn't think you could fry it though like an egg, but it does. It goes like egg, and you can use it in baking. So anything that you would normally crack eggs into, you can make an egg out of flaxseed. Hi Nancy, hi Robin.
In my spreadsheet, I'm adding the vitamin A in because for some reason it got left off, and I did this, as I was working today, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But there's a lot of vitamin A in.
We'll forgive you.
The carrot, the 1/2 cup. It's awesome. Okay, so
it's amazing that you've done this because you've done all the hard work of balancing a diet out for us, based on your medical knowledge of what the human body needs every day. It's if anyone is, this couldn't be easier.
Yep. So if you print this out, write vitamin A in the nutrition area over there if you want. Okay, next up is 1 cup of Chrissy's favorite white mushrooms. You will get, and that's left over. That's the only thing I left from the supper stir from last week because, again, 10% of our diet. So we're going to probably have mushrooms every week somewhere, right?
Mushrooms every week.
43 calories, 2 grams protein, 1 gram fat, 3 grams dietary fiber, lots of vitamin D, choline, and folate. And then finally, 1 cup cooked firm tofu. So that's not a whole food.
Yeah.
But it's a really good food anyway. So it's going to be on our list. And the real reason why, 176 calories, but if you look at that, a whopping 20 grams of protein.
Chrissy's going, woo-hoo! As soon as you mention the mushrooms. Oh, you crack me up, you lovelies, you really do.
All right. 20 grams of protein, 10 grams of fat, 2 grams of dietary fiber, lots of vitamin A, vitamin K, vitamin E, folate, magnesium, calcium, and iron. And so if you want to get the soft tofu, I'm sure it's fine. The firm tofu, what I recommend you do is dice it up, and if you have an air fryer, 12 minutes at 400 degrees. And they'll roll out like little crunchies, and you can toss them in the pan with your mushrooms and your carrots and your flax seeds and your long brown rice, and you can stir that all up till it looks fabulous. Yeah. And then chow down.
That will be amazing.
That will be a delicious supper. And I know tofu is not a whole food, but it is minimally processed. It's very minimally processed. It's basically all soybeans. So, it's one of those things, we're probably going to have to say this might be the exception that proves the rule. because it is so useful, and there are other forms of the soybean that we're probably going to encounter as we go. So anyway, so I'll take that down, and I'm going to give you the final numbers for those of you that didn't print this out. It works out to 1,515 calories, so about almost 100 calories more than last week. A total of 67.5 amazing grams of protein, 46.5 grams of fat, and 64 grams of dietary fiber.
Absolutely brilliant. That's really, really lovely. I'm going to enjoy that. Definitely going to enjoy that. And as we know, the wonderfully knowledgeable and scientific Robin, she has put 6 milligrams of beta carotene in one large carrot, enough to convert 1,000 micrograms of vitamin A.
There you go.
There you go. But vitamin A also comes up in
lots of this
tofu.
Stuff.
I mean, there's a lot of vitamin A is in a lot of it, isn't it? And lots of vitamin C as well. Because, it's not just oranges. I think there's more vitamin C in broccoli than an orange. I think.
And there might be more in bell peppers.
Yeah.
And in oranges too. It's just surprising. The thing that everybody needs to be aware of, and I know lots of people out there, and I counsel my patients about this too. They take their vitamins separately. They'll take some D, and they'll take some A, and they'll take some E, and they'll take a B booster and all that. And I try to get them off of all of that, because there's a lot of research that shows that can actually be deleterious to your health to take all those vitamins separately. It's better to take a single multivitamin than it is to do that where you take all the different ones.
Really?
I'm not sure why, but it is. Actually, you increase your risk of heart problems if you take all your vitamins separately. Like it's a small amount, but some of these vitamins are fat soluble. Vitamins A, D, E, and K are fat soluble, and you can actually get too much of those. Okay?
Right.
A, D, E, and K. And I had a patient yesterday I was talking with, she actually was vitamin E toxic at one point. She made herself sick because she took way too many vitamin E capsules. She thought she could just take all you want. And she ended up feeling very ill, and she went in and she told her doctor, and they measured the levels, and she was toxic on vitamin E. So she has to be very careful going forward to not get any more vitamin E than what might be in a multivitamin every day. So
really?
So this is why it's so important to get your except for a multivitamin every day. And you can take your Meta 7 if you're taking that, because the Meta 7 is, except for the vitamin D, is water soluble. So the B vitamins and vitamin C and these they wash out. You're not going to hurt yourself. Beta carotene is another example. Your body's only going to convert as much beta carotene to vitamin A as your body needs. So you can't hurt yourself eating carrots, okay? But if you start taking a whole bottle of vitamin E or vitamin A or something like that, you can really hurt yourself. So you don't want to do that. You're certainly going to be fine taking a multivitamin with Meta 7 and some extra D if you're in an area where you need some extra D. But what you need to look at is how much you really do get in the form of vitamins by eating a whole food plant-based diet. Except for B12, you're going to get everything you need. And the reason we throw the multi in there is just to be sure, because farming, methodology with corporate farming in a lot of places in the Western world is, kind of changing some of this nutrition content that we have in our food. So the information that we have now, I don't know how reliable it is. So recommend it. That's why the top of the list, it says multivitamin.
Yeah.
MVI with exclamation. Take your multi. There you go.
Okay.
So that's the menu.
That is fantastic. I'm going to enjoy doing that. Chrissy is saying, "Where's all our fruit for the day?" And I've already messaged her back. We've got an apple and a banana in that. So yep. if people are feeling hungry, or if people want, I know you've got the calories down there and everything. But is it okay to just go, I've got some oranges here, I'm going to have some oranges, or just to eat some fresh fruit?
Well, remember what I'm doing is I'm creating a guide for people who feel like they need a guide.
Yeah.
If you've eaten all of that and you're still hungry, well then by all means have more if you want. There's no reason you can't. All this is a starting point. It can be your whole diet if you want to just eat that, and that's all you want to eat for the day. That's perfectly fine. If 1,500 calories is all you need, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But if you eat that, you're getting plenty of protein. If you want to be sure that you're getting enough of everything, then follow that plan. If you want to add something on there, if you want to add another banana or some apples, or you have some grapes that you need to eat, or if you got some blueberries that need to be eaten, go right ahead.
Yeah.
There's no problem with that at all.
And you can always throw them in with your stir fry in the evening as well.
You can, sure.
Yeah, all of those things can go in. I know it might sound funny, but I just free fall all my cooking. I just chuck all sorts of things in that are fruits and vegetables, obviously. And
sure.
They all just go really well together.
Just throw it in there. It's amazing what kind of taste you can create with a wok. And if you don't have a wok, you might want to think about getting one. I have a stainless steel wok that actually I have a special holder that allows me to put it on the gas range.
Yeah.
So I know they have electric woks and that are kind of cool too, but I like because this thing is enormous. It's huge, and so
like a proper Chinese wok. That's what I've got.
I just add I start with a quarter cup. I put a quarter cup of water in it, and then I throw the veggies and everything in there. And if it looks like the water's all gone and stuff's starting to stick, I just add another quarter cup of water. And that way I can just keep stirring and let it cook. And once it's the right temperature and everything's cooked, I'm done. It's time to eat.
I've started using water in my cooking, actually, to give it more, when it needs more fluidity. I've got a couple of questions here about vitamins and stuff, and I've got one of my own as well. So
sure.
Jill has asked you, what if we are low on D? Is it okay to supplement that to get back to normal range, especially in winter? I think she's talking about if you're taking a multivitamin but you're low in D.
If you're low in D, if you'll just eat mushrooms with one of your meals every day, you don't need to supplement. You certainly can. Now, for my patients in my clinic that are not vegan, I insist they take vitamin D because they're all low. But for those of us that are following this menu, this lifestyle menu that we're working on, and following our instructions to eat, 10% mushroom, you're not going to have low vitamin D. And if you ask Chrissy, she took the challenge. She couldn't get higher than between 6 or 8 on her vitamin D level, and she was on massive doses of the vitamin D2, 50,000 units a week, I believe she was on.
Yeah.
And she couldn't, and she ate mushrooms once a day, with one meal a day for a month, and her vitamin D went all the way up, to what, 48 was it?
47, went from 6 to 47 in 30 days.
It was just an amazing, her doctor was amazed.
Yeah.
So, if you'll just eat mushrooms with one meal a day, you won't have to take a supplement.
Yeah.
Is it okay to take a supplement? Yes. You can take a vitamin D supplement if you're low and you're in an area where you feel like you need to supplement your vitamin D. But if you're taking vitamin D for a long period of time, you need to get your doctor to measure your vitamin D level when you get your routine labs, if you get those.
Yeah. She is saying thank you because she loves mushrooms. Are you fully plant-based, Jill? Let us know. But definitely, I am now chucking mushrooms into everything since Chrissy got her amazing results because, my husband doesn't eat, Wink doesn't eat a brilliant diet. He does like a lot of junk food, and he is still a meat eater. He had a Moroccan vegan meal tonight. So mushrooms just literally go in everything I cook now. I really, 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 really like them. And the other vitamin question was, can you harm your body by taking too much vitamin C? Is this a supplement you're talking about?
Not really. You can, but it'd be it'd be similar to drinking too much water and making yourself sick. I mean, you would have to take so much vitamin C, it would be crazy.
Yeah.
So, no, you can take thousands of milligrams of C, and as long as you're drinking enough water, you're fine.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So that's brilliant. My question was, obviously I eat loads of fruits and vegetables, and they're absolutely laced with all these vitamins. So can you, if you like, I don't know, I eat loads of spinach because I like it. I stuff it in my mouth raw and chomp it away while I'm cooking. I add it to just about everything. I've just got a real thing for spinach at the moment. I love my green veg. So could I have too much of a vitamin in my body from just eating lots and lots of fruits and vegetables?
No.
It's basically on a supplement level. If you're taking
right.
supplements, you'd
have to take supplements.
So
to
not
hurt
foods
yourself.
containing supplements. So I hope that's
not plant foods. There are some animal foods that you can actually get in trouble with. If you were to eat polar bear meat, you can get too much vitamin A.
Right. Didn't know that.
You're thinking, if you want to know if I'm putting you on right now or not, aren't you? You're not sure if that's true or not.
I think it is true.
It is true.
It is. I think it is true because of what polar bears eat.
Yeah. You can actually make yourself sick if you eat polar bear meat. Too much vitamin A.
Those Eskimos must be having trouble then.
I don't think they eat the bears, do they? I don't know.
I don't know. Let's hope not. They're an endangered species. So let's hope not. They're running out of ice to live on, aren't they? Bless them. So lots of people are saying thank you. Ada, the lovely Ada, who is, fairly new into her journey, plant-based with her husband. She is saying a guide is what we need and we can change it to fit our taste and lifestyle. So thank you, Dr. Gilmore.
You're welcome.
Madge is saying she uses piri-piri seasoning. Lovely. I chuck a tablespoon of chili seeds in everything. I didn't do it tonight because I was showing it with Wink, but it was missing that kick for me. So Chrissy is saying over half of what she eats is fruit. She in her fruit and veg diet. She really, really loves fruit. And that's fine. There are people that just eat fruit, and I've said this before. My Danish friend, she's the Denmark's reigning for many years ultra marathon runner, and she's been a fruitarian for 11 years. Well, actually, be coming up for 12 now because it's next year already. So I don't think that that's a problem, and I think if you're missing the fruit in this, substitute some of the things with fruit. Have more fruit for breakfast. I think if you're a fruitarian, I think you need to be a bit more active, and you'll have to eat a lot of fruit. I think the reason is just to make sure you get enough protein. I think that I think a lot of people, especially athletes, they can get away with being fruitarian because they're going to do enough exercise probably to get rid of the number of calories that they're going to consume to get enough protein. I think being a fruitarian sounds really interesting. It certainly sounds easier because you don't cook really; you just sort of eat everything. Everything's just raw fruit.
But there's a lot of carbohydrates, and you can actually find it more difficult to get enough protein. So I'm not anti-fruitarian by any stretch. I would just have to learn more about it. And right now, I'm still learning how to do the whole food plant-based that we're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think there's certainly a place for lots of fruits and vegetables, or lots of fruits, and we can work more fruits into our menus. Yeah. But for me, fruits I just eat it. I mean, I try to make sure that I'm getting enough of everything, and then if I'm hungry, I eat fruit. That's where the plums come in, and the bananas, and the extra avocado if I want something there, or blackberries, or those kind of things. Whatever's in season, and grab some of that. And just a little while ago, before I came in here, I was sitting with Abby, and she was eating some watermelon. I don't know where watermelon's coming from this time of year, but she was eating some sliced up watermelon. It looked delicious. Everything looks good right now. I'm fasting today, so take that into consideration. So
yes. Robin is saying tempeh could be used in place of tofu. It possesses more protein, dietary fiber, vitamins compared to tofu, so very, very similar. It's firmer in texture, stronger in flavour, less fat, less processed, considered healthier than tofu. So there, if you don't like tofu, try tempeh. And
tempeh is just fermented soybeans. I mean, it's basically the same soy.
Yeah, but I guess they process it. I haven't found it in my supermarket yet to try it. It would have been something I would have avoided like the plague before. Because I had it once and I didn't like the texture of it, and I just used to go at the thought of it. But I don't like it much either, but I would try it in the air fryer. I think I would try that. I would try it in the air fryer. Crunchy, crispy, just delicious.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make some chickpea, like tofu made out of chickpea flour. And I'm going to put it up. In fact, I'm going to do that this week because some people don't like soya. Somebody up here has gone blah like that. And I totally get you there. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I think the idea is that adds protein, and you can flavour it anyway because it kind of comes almost without flavour. So you add the flavour. So I will do that recipe. So if you like chickpeas, it's very, very similar in texture to tofu. So I will do a recipe for that and you can kind of mix it up a bit. So vitamins that was reused is usually sick all the time. Other than that 3 days, I've been well for longer than ever. Right. Chrissy is saying that one thing she's noticed with getting her vitamin D up is my immune system is much better. I'm usually sick all the time. Other than a 3-day flu, which everyone had for about 10 days, didn't they, Chrissy? And you just knocked that out of the park straight away. I've been well longer than ever. Is there a correlation between vitamin D being right and kind of having a better immune system? What does vitamin D do for us?
I'm not entirely certain there's a direct correlation, but I think Chrissy's diet in general has improved, right? It's not just that. So I think that there's more to it than that, but that's probably part of the equation. I'm having a great winter. Last year, I got sick with the flu. Even though I'd gotten the flu shot. Now, this year I did get 2 flu shots to help make sure I didn't get the flu, and I'm glad I did get the second one because we're getting them in by the waves right now. People with the flu, it's just, and I expect since we've got the stock show and rodeo in town this week, we're going to be seeing even more next week as more and more people are out there circulating.
Yeah.
But I think that having more of those phytonutrients and everything that we talked about probably does wonders for our immune system. So I think that whole food plant-based eating is definitely healthier, and you should notice an improvement in your immune system. It would make perfect sense to me.
Yeah, it would. I mean, I think the longer you are on this path, and I think if you've gone whole food plant-based, I think for this long, I think you'll find it very hard to fall back into just choring on meat again, because when you do, you're going to feel awful and you're going to notice your energy levels are going to plummet. Your ability to fall asleep, the quality of your sleep will go down. Your joints will start to ache. Forget the thing that you can't notice on the inside. You will feel it in your body and in your bones. You just will. And, when you go to the toilet, that will be different. That won't feel healthy. There's a lot of things. So I can't imagine people going back because you eat something like that and it's just like, I don't know, if you had a bucket of wine to drink, you'd feel pretty awful and you'd go, note to self, not doing that again. So the longer you're on this journey, the more and more and more healthy that you're going to get. So at the moment, you are at the level of health that you are at the moment, but you're continuing to feed your body live nutrients, things that are really good for you, things that the body just does a little happy dance every time you swallow a mouthful of it. So it's going to build the health on the place that you are now. I mean, Beverly was type 2 diabetic for 4 years. Okay, she's not anymore. She's cured herself by eating in this way. But her health is still going to continue to go up. You know, she's still losing weight, not because she's on a diet, not because she's restricting the calories, but because she's now able to exercise, which before she didn't have the energy for. So you have more energy, so you'll end up doing more things. You'll end up toning yourself up. You'll end up getting up and doing stuff where you wouldn't have done before. And this is all good for the soul. It's good for the mind. It's good for the spirit. You know, and your body is going to be making more and more and more serotonin. That's going to be dropping dopamine into your head. You're going to feel so motivated and alive. This summer, you're just going to feel amazing. And spring is a real time of change. And I know that a lot of you are all under, 52 centimeters of snow, and we've just had like 30 degrees, which is 68 degrees Fahrenheit, the hottest ever recorded temperature, in February in the UK. So we're feeling a bit like, winter's gone and summer's just around the corner at the moment, until nature has another idea. But, you're building health on wherever you are now. So you're adding more health on top of health, on top of health, on top of health. So Chrissy, you are going to be ill less. I'm as strong as a rock, apart from the cyst, and a bit of, I did have a bit of a cold earlier on this year, but I'm hardly ever ill, and I haven't always been vegan. I'm really lucky, but I feel that I could kind of walk into a danger zone of, whatever disease is, and it's just going to glance off me like water off a duck's back. I feel kind of invincible because I know what I'm putting in my body is really good. Not the best. I'm not perfect by a long way. And I'm going to be growing that, journey, more. So you will get an improvement in how you feel. Beverly is continuing to lose weight because she's continuing. And so she's getting more and more healthy, and you get healthy to lose weight. You don't lose weight to get healthy. And I know you've heard me say this before. Maybe not all of you will have heard me say that, but it's so true. You can't lose weight to get healthy. You have to get healthy to lose weight. So her body now doesn't need to hang on to the excess weight that she's got because she's moving more and she's eating the right food, and because it's packed full of nutrition, your body doesn't have to hold on to the fat in case you starve yourself. When you eat a plate of McDonald's and all of those type, and go past, Taco Bell or, some cake shop or whatever, you might be stuffed full, but your body is suffering malnutrition. It's absolutely, crying out for some fuel. So it stores everything on your hips so that, in case you don't eat properly, it's going to use the fat to keep you alive. But when you're eating the right foods, your body's like, I don't need this baggage anymore. So that's why we get more and more and more and more healthy the longer we are into this journey. So I just wanted to say that. And I just love
to see rooms, conferences and groupings of vegans, and they're all so thin.
Yeah.
And it's like, did you have to get thin to do this? No. If you behave and treat your body right and feed it right, the weight just goes away.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. We'll all look like we looked in 1960. You couldn't even spot a fat person.
That's the goal.
All we had was Laurel and Hardy, the fat one in Laurel and Hardy. There were hardly any fat people. You look at films that were made in the 60s, and everybody's that perfect version of themselves, which is like the man in the doctor's surgery, which shows all the muscle groups. Like, perfect, just how we're supposed to be, You know the one I mean. You must have one up in your surgery.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and that's how we're all supposed to be. To look like that when we eat the right food, So that's really, what's Chrissy saying? Hang on, Lynn's saying something brilliant, Chrissy. I thought blockage could only get worse, not better. Hang on a minute.
That's
more
not
big
true.
News. Oh, here we go. More big news. Hi, Mary Beth, darling. More big news. After my heart attack last June, they said I was 50% blocked. After some recent testing, the cardiologist said my blockage is 40%. I'm wondering if my diet did that. Hell yes, Chrissy.
That's called regression of plaque.
Yeah.
And you can get it a couple of ways. One is with a whole food plant-based diet. Another is with really high doses of statins. We've seen some evidence of regression of plaque, but there's really high doses. So unless you're on super high doses of cholesterol-lowering drugs, which you might be, then you can attribute that to your diet.
So excited about that.
To your menu. To your menu.
The menu man. Jack, the menu man.
Well, I mean, I'm trying not to use the word diet because people get the wrong idea, but what you're eating, right?
Yeah. You mean your lifestyle of eating.
Your lifestyle.
She because she's not on a special diet, she's eating 50% fruit, 50% veg, and a lot of mushrooms. So she was saying she thought the blockage could only get worse and not better. No, it can get better. That lovely cardiovascular surgeon who died at the age of 104 in December, whose name I wish I should actually be respectful enough to learn. I stuck the video up on my Facebook channel, although not a lot of people watched it. It's funny, they all skip past those, don't they? It's like, oh gosh, it's gold, the words that he was saying. But he talked about that, getting your numbers down by plant-based whole food eating, you know, and make yourself heart attack proof.
Well, we have two physicians two cardiologists that did tremendous work. One's Dr. Ornish. He has a new book out I need to read still. The other one's Dr. Esselstyn. He has a book out, How to Reverse and Prevent Heart Disease. Both of them have documented improvement in coronary angiograms in patients who are on a whole food plant-based diet. So patients who had severe coronary disease with significant improvement but just simply by following the correct diet. So it's absolutely possible and actually easy, very simple. Your body will begin to cure itself of a lot of these inflammatory diseases. Coronary heart disease and blockages are the result of an inflammatory process that involves the immune system and fats and lipoproteins that are made in the liver. And a lot of this is done in response to eating animal-based diet. And first, when you find yourself in a hole, the first thing you've got to do is stop digging. So you stop eating the stuff that's killing you, and then you start putting the healthy foods in, and your body finds a way to reverse the process.
Yeah.
We barely have medicines, that can do this. So this truly is as beneficial to us as being on the right medicines.
Yeah.
Being on the right lifestyle, the right foods is just as critical as anything else that you're doing to stay alive. Eating the right stuff, drinking plenty of fluids, being in a good environment, taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of these things are so very important to your quality of life.
It is. It's so important. Lynn has some fabulous news as well that I'd like to tell you. My blood test results are all normal. That's the first time for almost 9 years.
That's wonderful.
High five. And she said,
That's wonderful.
So much for my GP being hard on me for losing the weight and changing to plant-based food. Yes, I think you mentioned that he gave you a row, didn't he? He gave you a row for going plant-based. And we just said, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And
I think what we said was get another doctor. I think is what we said.
Get another doctor, baby, because you have just got you've got all normal. Blood test results are all normal. That is just
normal is normal. I mean, you can't do better than normal labs. So
I mean, it's just like the only way is up. It's fantastic. Congratulations to both of you. It is absolute. Everyone's saying awesome, awesome, awesome. Mary Beth saying hello. Chrissy takes 80 milligrams of pravastatin a day.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's it? Right. Oh my goodness. Sherry is saying her neighbour had a heart attack, is in hospital, he has 4 blockages and is scheduled for surgery soon. Do you know what? It's just so much easier and so much less traumatic just to eat right. You know, really is. Now, I had a question ages ago that I said you were talking, and I don't know what this is. So I don't know if it's relevant to what we were talking about. Let me just find it. Oh, anyway, I'll let you chat while I find this, and oh yeah, hello, what can I do for lymphedema?
Well, lymphedema is a medical problem best treated at lymphedema centers that usually have to work considerably to get the lymphatic fluid moving correctly again. Lymph is an important component of the blood, but it leaks out all over the place. So we have a big circulatory system called the lymphatic system that involves lymph nodes in the spleen and other parts of the body where that fluid is brought back into the circulatory system. So when you look at people who have a high-fat diet, a high cholesterol diet, we see more obesity and we see more lymphedema in these people. Now, not everybody falls into that category, but it does increase the risk. Treating lymphedema is actually, it's a complicated, long, drawn-out process that involves a lot of wrapping and squeezing and massaging and breaking down obstructions in the lymphatic system. So it's not far from coronary atherosclerosis or large vessel disease. So I hope that helps. Okay.
Thank you very much for saying that. And I hope your neighbour's okay. It's very easy to go. It's very easy to be, we're all pumped up about our fruits and veg and everything. It's very easy to be kind of glib and say, well, if only ate right, maybe I kind of take that back. But I hope that you can, give him some direction because, maybe that's the moment where he just decides to save himself, or herself.
Well, just like Dr. Esselstyn says, coronary heart disease, diabetes, these are paper tigers. These need not exist in society. These problems need not exist. Yeah. Peripheral vascular disease does not need to exist. We do this to ourselves through what we eat. So,
absolutely.
It's a proven fact. I mean, there's no, it'd be like trying to decide whether smoking is safe or not again. We don't need to do that. We know we have the evidence.
Yeah.
And the evidence is true. And, we know that animal products cause heart disease. We know it does. And we know that people that are going in on a regular basis to have bypasses and grafts put in and all of these life-saving procedures, that this problem would stop probably within about 90 days if the entire world were to begin to eat right.
Yeah.
But won't. And we couldn't if we wanted to because there's not enough of it right now. So it has to be a gradual process.
Yeah, it does, sadly.
The more pressure we put on producers to continue to create fresh fruits and vegetables for us to eat, the better off we'll be.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's a good place for us to stop. Anyway, for me, we've gone.
Gosh, yes.
Yeah. So, if you want to continue on, you certainly may. But I think I'm going to call it a night.
I think so too. It's 1:35 here. Chrissy is saying that her doctor wants her to change to the Mediterranean diet.
Well, tell him or her no.
No, the pain doctor. The GP likes her diet, but the pain doctor wants her to go. Don't do it.
No.
You've seen Forks Over Knives, you've seen all of that, and this week I've had about 3 people who have had relatives comment on how good they look and what are they doing. And one lady saw someone she hadn't seen for a really, I can't remember, a relative who she hadn't seen for a couple of months, who was blown away by how much weight she'd lost and how much healthier she looked. And asked her what she was doing. She just said, I'm just doing this plant-based whole food eating and blah, blah, blah. And that relative said, gosh, I really need to do that. I'm really interested. So she's hoping that she'll come on board. So it's just like she said, I hadn't really noticed myself because, of course, we see ourselves every day. But when people who haven't seen you, since you started this, just a couple of months, 3 months, meet you and see you, they'll see the difference in how much healthier you look.
Absolutely.
You'll just be glowing. It's not all about the dress size. It's about the health and the energy that you radiate, So, that is a good person to, a good place to stop. Hi, Tammy, sweetheart. Okay. Lots of love to you all. And, have fun with this, guided, nutritional, bit of guidance menu, that, I don't know what to call it because we're not calling it a diet, but like
it's a menu.
It's a menu.
It's a menu.
Goodness me.
It's a menu. It's a menu if you need a menu. If you don't need a menu, you don't need it. If you want a guide, you have one. If you want to do this and you just don't know where to start, you have a place to start now.
Yeah,
so
you do.
And so we're next back 2:30 on Sunday afternoon, Texas time, 3:30 New York time, and 10:30 p.m. right?
8:30 p.m.
8:30 London
UK time.
30 in the evening London time Sunday. So
yeah. You all have a good weekend too. I shall see you. I have got a video that I'm about to put up, reviewing something that you sent me, Chrissy, and I've got a few more video. I'm going to be doing some cooking videos, so I've got some stuff up there for you to have a look at. Enjoy the bread recipe. The link's in this chat, and we will see you on Sunday.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye.